It was on set of Fast 8 that there was a unique chemistry that just started to build between myself and Jason.
No fucking way.
This guy's a real asshole.
Get your greasy sausage fingers off of her.
Once we put Dwayne and Jason opposite each other, and they just started to go to town. From that first take, we all just turned to each other and said, that's it.
It's a little tight.
What if the spin-off was based off these two guys and the contentious relationship that they have?
On my three.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
No one tells me what to do.
The chemistry between Dwayne and Jason, it's pretty special.
You sound like a giant tattooed baby.
You know what? I got a job to do.
I thought, wow, to have the opportunity to take these guys and learn about their backgrounds and build a world around that chemistry was really exciting to me.
Their characters are so opposite, but also so are they. So being able to pit two alpha characters that have two different styles. Dwayne is someone who, is big and kind of bashes his way through problems. And Jason is someone who are more stealth. They're more style. So it's awesome for this movie because we intentionally put them together and we make their rough edges bump up against each other.
Bring it on, Dono.
Let's roll.
You think?
Dick.
They rip on each other, and it is this dynamic that they've set up.
You think I'm stupid?
Of course I think you're stupid.
It makes you want to spend time with them,
I got a shotgun.
No. Don't start.
and it makes you want to see their conflict because you find it funny.
You ready? Yeah, I'm ready. On my three. Okay. 1. Die, you asshole! Woo!
I think it's a love story between those two, really, where they have such a laugh together. They're actually really good friends.
I've known Jason now for a very long time, and there's not a lot of laughs with Jason. He doesn't smile a lot. Every once in a while, he will. I take great joy in making him laugh, and I do everything I can to make him laugh.
I apologize in advance if it's a little loose around the balls.
There's a natural chemistry that they have that they really find these special angles and ways to tease and poke each other, that their friendship shines through in the characters that they're playing.
I made a mistake. This is you, though.
Oh, no. No backsies. What's the matter? You got a lot of bad guys behind that door?
What's this? You might learn something.
There are two men at the core of this thing and who absolutely can't stand each other.
I got him.
No, I got him.
But also, there is a common respect between the two.
It isn't until the end of the movie where they see a flash of hope in the final fight, and they look at each other and they open up and say, we have to work together.
I'll take a punch and let you land one.
I'll do the same. Got your back, brother.
And I got yours.
We see through that action that humanity can be trusted to do the right thing. Hi, I'm David Leach, and we are here to break down how to make a fight scene. So there are several steps to making a great fight scene, but most importantly, you want to focus on the story and focus on the character. Second thing is training up your talent. What I try to do as a director is try to train the actors to do as much as possible and not break the illusion of the characters doing their own stuff. The last is integrating special effects, visual effects, and every sort of cinematic trick you can to make it a fresh experience for the audience. Vanessa took to the stunt training incredibly well, and we built out a library of moves and things that define Hattie. The idea was always by design that we would intercut those fight scenes, and we would see Hattie Shaw and Shaw actually fight in similar styles. They both like found objects. Yeah!
Hey.
Deckard fights with a toaster, Hattie fights with a bottle. I think it's always fun to take the fight to the next level and not just be about fisticuffs. If you can find objects in the room that have levity or severity, it's interesting. We thought it would be more interesting instead of having a traditional shoot 'em up, that we could highlight sort of the brothers coming together, fighting side by side, not unlike Hattie and Deckard. Hobbs and his brothers, they have a second language that only siblings can have. The weapons for the Samoan battle were actually based on traditional Samoan weapons.
Let's go old school.
But also, if you look closely, the brothers in the machine shop were making weapons in the montage. So they were using parts of engines and welding, makeshift weapons. There's a logistical puzzle to doing a battle scene. I have luckily been involved in many movies that have these battle scenes as a stunt performer, as a fight choreographer. What you do is you teach the background artists how to do some fights that are sort of like cycles, right? And then you have layers of background artists doing different fight scenes, and you can move them around, so you're creating this great palette of chaos in the back, allowing a backdrop for your characters where you're really focusing on the specific choreography that you've designed.
I was beginning to like you two, you know that? Oh well.
We've sort of built up this expectation for hopefully the fight of the century at the end of this movie. They make a plan to take a punch to land a punch.
We work together, we can hurt him.
Self-sacrifice for each other.
Time to work as a team.
It's a real pivotal moment in the movie, and that's where we came up with the super slow-mo cam. There's a combination of practical stunts, willing actors, and visual effects that made this all happen, and I think people are gonna go like, how'd they do that? Did they really just punch Dwayne in the face? Maybe. You never know. Idris, Dwayne, Jason, I think they were pretty surprised when I said, no, rain machines. And they're like, no, seriously, right? CG rain? I'm like, no, rain. For a week. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. Adding the element of rain, it's not as easy as you'd think. The logistical puzzle for special effects is building rain scaffolding that covers an entire set, having a set with a pan that can drain the water out so the set doesn't flood, not ruining the set floor, so they have to rebuild the stages when you're gone. All of those things get taken into account. So when a jerk of a director like this guy says, I want rain at the end of the movie, there are a lot of like rolling of the eyes. But I think once it's done, everyone gets to see how beautiful it is through the lens. The way water reacts with light, the way your characters feel physically and emotionally when they're standing there, the real elements they're facing.
It's a hell of a business, boys.
I love shooting fight scenes. It's in my roots. It's where I came from as a stunt performer and a fight choreographer and as a martial artist and a competitor. I'm really grateful to have an outlet for all this useless martial arts knowledge that I have. Stuff that wouldn't work on the street, I can somehow make it work on the movie screens. All those years of karate lessons, they paid off, Mom. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I really thought that would have broke.
With a movie like Hobbs and Shaw that balances out character and story, but also the action is the heart of the movie. The action drives your characters and drives their story forward. Whether it's through big action set pieces or whether it's just through some sort of action that the heroes take.
What people don't really realize about action is that it's just as important to character development as narrative. A well-constructed fight scene will tell you just as much as a well-constructed dialogue scene about somebody. And you can really define your characters through the way that they fight.
Outside of being fit and in shape, I just had to really understand the mindset of how they make these films, how precise you have to be with movement, how much intention you have to play in order for some of this outlandish choreography to work. You have to really believe it and look like you know what you're doing.
This movie's really fight-oriented and really fight-heavy. And so we got fight coordinator Greg Rementer, who is amazing, and the team we've put together. We really started establishing the stunt fight biz really early on and developing who the characters were and trying to give them their own special, unique thing.
So much of the stunts is about the stunt guys that you're working with. And because they literally are the best in the world, it means that even if you look feeble, they make you look like you've done the biggest hit of all time.
One of the ways that we pitch action sequences is through a fight viz, or a stunt viz, as some people call it. It's a visual storyboard that gets our message across. So what we do is we start from our creative process all the way back to when we talk to the director about how people fight. What's the intention of the fight? Where it goes. Once we construct their style, once we choreograph the scene, once we put it in a place, we recreate that in our stunt gym. We build a whole set out of boxes because they're easily movable. At the end of the day, whether it's a right punch or a left punch may not matter, but what is important is the story being told and the intention within the scene. So we shoot them, we edit them, and we'll put it together like a package. And when you watch it, outside of the fact that it's not the actors and we're in a room filled with boxes, it's essentially our idea of how to watch the movie.
Access denied.
When you have three guys like Idris Elba, Jason Statham, and myself, we all have a different approach, I think, to our work, but yet all very cohesive because we all come to set every day with the understanding that let's make sure that we are delivering for the audience and we're putting together the best scenes we possibly can.
One guy's focused, one guy's a little reckless. One guy's ready to smash, one guy's ready to evade and hit the precise punch.
All of us are physical men, and we enjoy physicality. Some more than others, because we're crazy, but we all enjoy the physical aspect of what we do.
Nice!
Who the hell are you?
Bad guy.
We have an opportunity to build the baddest bad guy the Fast and Furious franchise has ever seen.
The goal was we want a really bad guy.
One guy so capable of beating Hobbs and Shaw, not only individually, but both at the same time.
I got him.
No, I got him.
We want a guy that's memorable within the series. They've had some really interesting bad guys, and they wanted one to sit above them all. Brixton is essentially a robot, and bringing that across so that the audience believed that was definitely a gift given to me as an actor.
Look at me. I'm Black Superman.
Idris Elba, he literally just said it on the set.
I'm Black Superman.
And the second we heard, all of us turned to each other and we're like, yeah, that's right, that's what that is. But that's 100% him.
He's smarter, he's faster, he's stronger, and you add in that Idris is also happened to be the current sexiest man in the world, you have a pretty formidable foil for our guys.
You know he's going to bring pathos and gravitas to this character and all those things that you need in a great villain. There's some great sort of Shakespearean going on.
I loved being on set with him. Not for any other reason other than he's a wonderful man.
You walk on set and you realize, oh, that's what a movie star looks like.
Who's gonna stop me? We wanted to tackle something slightly different, and I was just all in. My character is very exciting, you know, it was a real sort of step away from the kind of characters I get to play.
She's a tough cookie, really. She's quite troubled. We wanted her to be more of like a lone wolf. Quite isolated. You know, if things go south in there, can't leave me alive.
Patty, she's put herself and the world at risk, but it gives her the window of time to possibly save the world.
I felt somebody that does that is quite fatalistic, and the virus doesn't symbolize necessarily saving the world, but more saving herself.
To see the next generation of really terrific actors coming up, to sort of watch them, to learn from them. She was so wonderful.
All bets down, away we go.
Not only this Fast and Furious movie, but in any great movie, there's a female role that is powerful, that is smart. I think that Vanessa is such a brilliant actress.
Thanks.
Her skill set is boundless. What was important to us was that we would create a female role that was legit, accomplished, an MI6 operative who is exceptional at what she does.
Vanessa Kirby and I really got on. She's an actress, capable of so much. She switched it on, full on, no jokes.
What I loved about David's vision was the fact that he wanted the woman to be as capable as the men. He was really adamant that she was as strong as them and she was as much of a fighter.
We wanted to identify her as a chip off the old block. She's Queenie's daughter, Deckard's sister.
That's when I put it up, yeah?
She's got this attitude, this fighting prowess. There's a seedy side to her as well. She's one of my favorite characters.
Vanessa trained so hard. I couldn't be more proud to see her kick ass.
If she moves, I want you to shoot her. It's my second day of shooting Hobbs and Shaw.
I had to hang off his neck with my legs around his head.
Around my head and neck in a very cool, very real triangle hold.
I remember just looking up at him, pointing this gun, just being like, "Hi, Dwayne Johnson. Nice to see you again."
Both just looked at each other and just started laughing every time, like, wow, look at our jobs. Oh, honey, how was your day today? What'd you do? Well, you know, I just kind of, didn't do much. Cut to, legs around my head, woman pointing a gun in my face.
What are you doing here?
Saving you.
Does that need to be saved?
Vanessa had really never done any action in her life.
Does that go at the same time as the fullback?
She looked at me and she goes, I know I have a huge mountain to climb. I can't wait to look back to where I was to see the badass that I'll be.
Turn these, get out of dodge.
That's it. For every single piece of action she did, she gave more than 100% if it's possible, and it shows.
She gave it her all. She came in all the time, wanted to learn, was eager.
I think I need to look a bit more delirious.
I don't care if she's your sister. That woman ain't going anywhere. Where are you going?
Going away. I don't have time for your alpha male shit right now. All that nonsense, you know. You needed someone to get the mission accomplished. It's really essential that we take care of it as actresses, that it's not, you know, the norm, the girlfriend, while the man goes away and saves the world. The woman has to save the world too, and I think that's important for girls in the audience too, so I felt like that was my responsibility.
Russos, it's time. Family is a very critical element of the Fast and Furious universe. We all believe deeply in family and the power of family, so that lives and breathes in our DNA just as human beings. So we wanted to make sure that Hobbs and Shaw had that DNA.
This is our dog.
We were excited to bring these characters' backstories and family stories to the Fast audience.
Getting to see these two epic heroes on their own is one thing. It's another thing when their mom is talking to them. Suddenly, it brings it into a real world and more relatable context.
My baby's home.
Samantha is a smart girl. She's inquisitive. She's a little curious about like what her dad does and about her extended family. Is that your brother? The family tree is a social studies assignment she's doing, and she's having problems doing it because the only family she knows is her dad. She loves her dad, but I feel like she's determined to find her family because she knows there's more.
Got a real cheat coming here after 25 years.
Jonah's feeling betrayed by his brother for many reasons, that he's gone for 25 years, that he locked his father up, that he's come back and he's got problems with him.
I would rather die than help you.
Jonah is a tech kid. He might not have had the resources to get a scholarship, or in Jonah's case, might have had the opportunity, but he held the responsibility of staying home with his family.
You crazy, brother. I like you, man. Mateo, he's a Hobbs brother, so I think in true fashion and proper form, my character Mateo would be a beast. He'll be right behind you. He might be a man of few words, very direct and, you know, gets to the point.
I do believe I am the most handsome out of all the brothers, even though DJ might disagree with it. But it's up for opinion.
I am Timo. I'm the youngest, athletic, energized brother. Sometimes I can't believe that I'm actually here and doing this and, you know, getting to be a part of something great.
My mom would ask me every other day, well, how come I can't play your mom? Well, because you're my mom, actually, in real life, and you're not really an actress. She's like, no, but I act all the time.
Welcome to Xiaomo. I shook his hand. He gave me a little kiss on my cheek and said, "Hi, Mama." I was like, he's already calling me Mama. All right.
How quickly we developed the camaraderie, how quickly we were able to feel like brothers.
There's someone, culture, family is everything.
It was so cool, just from my perspective, to watch all these guys and all these girls just be so proud, and they knew that they were part of something that was historic for the Samoan culture. Just a bunch of brown people saving the world. It's just beautiful. All big hearts, big, big hearts.
There's no way anyone caught her. Come on.
To see her work, it's effortless.
She was just a force of nature.
The prisoner will only be allowed more leniency when she proves to be less of a security risk.
I'm so excited to be back. For working class families, it's a bit us against them.
I think it's good that we get to learn a lot more about Shaw. For the sake of storytelling, we get to sort of understand what he cares about. One, that he's got a sister. Two, that his mum's in prison.
If you can't break out of a shitty prison like this, then you're seriously slipping, Mum.
You cheeky bugger.
Cut.
Queenie has the power wherever she is, absolutely. She's just one of those people who knows how to make things work for her.
It's the latest accessory. I'm going to buy a pair for my husband for Christmas.
So kind and brilliant. I loved her.
She runs that place. You know she runs that place.
I can just have this one on. That's going to be a continuity nightmare otherwise. And then as I stand up, I think I'll just take this one off.
She's the weight of that Shaw family, even behind prison doors, pulling the strings. No one wants to let Mama down.
Aside from her work, she's just a beautiful human being.
Very much. It's really super fun.
We should do a whole movie with her.
Let's get out of here.
You must be wondering why I called me here.
With Hobbs and Shaw, you gotta have just a few surprises sprinkled in, and I thought, I got a few friends who are kind of funny, and they would love to come into the Hobbs and Shaw sandbox and play with us. So we got a guy who you guys may know. His name is Ryan Reynolds.
Guy's an asshole.
You're like, Ryan who?
Right?
Only one of the biggest stars in the world.
I think you just broke my finger.
And certainly one of the most talented.
That'll work for you. You do now, asshole mouth. You do now, dick face.
Yeah, and
you're gonna figure fat ass.
Don't call me fat ass again. Ryan's character really likes Hobbs, maybe a little too much.
Oh, really?
He wanted to create something where there was actual investment
and for BFF
and history between the two.
That's my vacation. Get your head out of my ass. Let's just settle down, okay? This is my first rodeo.
It's rodeo, dickhead. The other guy who I knew would really love to come on and play was my best friend, Kevin Hart.
What you putting up on the bench? Big fella, what you putting up on the bench? About 100, 115, I got it. About 110, 115, 300, 400. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah, me too. Doing the same thing, clanking and banging, baby.
That's great, dude. That's the one. We shot that scene in London, and Kevin was on his tour where every night he was in a different city.
Just call me the real deal.
I was like, Kev, I need you. Let's give the fans something just amazing.
Hot yoga. It's tough, but it's fair.
He gets on a plane from Houston after his show. He flies all the way to London. He lands, immediately came to set, and jumped in the scene. And he crushes it.
Listen, we're good. Hey, let me get... Listen, trust me. I promise. Listen, we're good.
I love that guy, and audiences go bananas when they see him.
I appreciate you saying that because people don't say it enough. You know, they think we don't need to hear it, but we do. You know, it's just nice to be appreciated.
Cut, great.
Abracadabra, bitch.
Hobbs and Shaw, you want a war? You've got one.
We wanted to make sure that we had spectacular action set pieces where you raise the bar in terms of the action. And if reality is here, well, we kind of go here.
Remember me?
On my three.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
No one tells me what to do.
Anytime you make one of these movies, there's usually a set piece that becomes the anchor of the movie. This first set piece that everyone gets fired up about, and you tend to start crafting a movie around it. Our Descender rig sequence at the CIA is that set piece.
3, 2, 1, Brixton!
how do you get all the bad guys in a CIA building? Yeah, they can come in the elevator, but we kind of had this idea, you know, what if these guys are going down? They have these little bombs, they throw them down the building as they're rappelling down the outside. They go on the windows, they blow in, all of our heroes get taken out by the explosion. They swing in with, you know, Brixton and his bad guys.
I love the action set pieces that just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think you have to deliver on that idea.
Let's raise the bar. Let's make sure that it had insane action, gravity-defying action sometimes, because you have to defy gravity every once in a while.
The idea of these guys, stories and stories above the ground, fighting, being attacked, having to jump out with these mercs running up a building. It is the core and the essence of our movie. We had such a blast filming it, all culminating in basically Hobbs taking Guy, swinging him against a window just to tell Shaw, F you. It's love at first sight.
I'm David Leitch, I'm the director of Hobbs & Shaw. Fast and Furious is known for massive, over-the-top stunt sequences, and we're gonna go through a couple of these sequences with you and really paint a picture of like how many people it takes to make this stuff happen. It's gonna blow your mind.
And action!
Coming up in the stunt world, I try to make as much of the action practical.
3, 2, 1, go.
Previs is an essential process for a movie of this size. You need a roadmap for what the shots are going to be and what the sequence is going to be. If you don't know what previs is, it's really an animated version of the sequence that you're going to tell. And there's a team of artists that work from a set of storyboards that have been sketched out by me and the storyboard team. It's like making a movie while you're making a movie. So one of the main set pieces in the movie is the escape from the power plant in Chernobyl. To get a scene like that, it's a massive, massive undertaking of hundreds of people in all different departments. Visual effects, special effects, picture cars, specialty cars, stunts, sound, music, editorial, second unit photography, plate photography, like it's bananas.
Hold on!
Having a good car chase in a movie is essential. There was a lot of practical wire work and practical car work enhanced by CGI. The more real stuff on camera, the more we challenge the digital artists to match that reality. The Fast and Furious world built a world where we can be fantastical. So there was a moment where I just embraced it and I said, if we're gonna do it, then let's really do it. And let's jump the car out of the building, and not just jump it out of the building, let's corkscrew. The final car set piece is the hooking of the helicopter in Samoa. We were originally just gonna take it off a cliff, but then it became a question of like, have we done enough for the Fast fans? Have we done the craziest stunt we could possibly do? Idea was put on the table. What if the Black Hawk was gonna lift our heroes up, and it's a tug of war between Hobbs' family and Brixton? I loved that as a metaphor for the family reuniting. But aerial photography always captured the practical Black Hawk and at least one or two of the vehicles. As the vehicles start to get suspended, though, the challenge was for the visual effects artists to make the other vehicles look real enough to match the ones that were on the ground or that were up on a rig at a 45-degree angle. You'll see a lot of that sequence is told in wide shots, and that's aerial photography. That's not drones, that's old school helicopter piloting. The other photography is done with the Ultimate Arm. It's an off-road vehicle with a crane that has a stabilized head that allows us to do a lot of the vehicle shots on the road. I'm so grateful to have been a part of this Fast universe and given the resources to create such epic action sequences worthy of the Fast universe.
3 left!
Samoan language, uso means brother, and you know it's also it's a term of affection. For the most part, unless, you know, one of us screws up.
Mainly me. Yeah. Don't start listing stuff, please.
You have to remind me, when did we first meet?
Biloxi, Mississippi, the big city. He was in WWE at the time. He was just becoming The Rock. I was just before high school, I believe. I knew from a first impression just what kind of cloth he was cut from, you know, and that's kind of, I think, what we can really put behind the word Uso is it's coming from the heart. It's the kindness, it's the generosity, it's that genuine feel that you experience every time you meet somebody, and
it's the mana.
And it's real, yeah.
Our history goes way back from my grandfather, Haichi Peter Maivia, was known as the first Samoan pro wrestler. Him and Uncle Nef Maiava, rest in love. He just recently passed away. Those guys were responsible for training Joe's dad, part of the Wild Samoans, Uncle Sika. I call him Uncle Sika, and Uncle Afa too. So it's just been amazing how we've had these generations, these men in our life who we can look up to for sure. And here we are now, continuing on, you know, our own journey. By the way, we've been in the ring together. He powerbombed the out of me, by the way. By the way, here's the thing. This is the truth. He powerbombed the shit out of me so hard. Woo, woo! I busted more blood vessels in my lungs. I started spitting out blood. And I remember the ref coming to me, he's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Well, I think I'm choking on my own blood." Ask my cousin if I'm okay. Ooh, bang! Blood.
Family and best friends hit a little harder. That's you know,
blood.
The fact that Dwayne is putting a global spotlight on our culture, on the Samoan culture, that's what super attracted me to this project. As you can see, we wear it, we represent it, you know. Anytime that we're seen, anytime that we're on television, in the ring, on the movie set, we're representing our people, our family, our loved ones. So for us to be able to, you know, come together and put that spotlight and share our culture and our customs with the world, it's awesome.
From a Samoa standpoint, we both knew that the opportunity here was very, very special. It's once in a career, if you're lucky, by the way, that you have an opportunity to showcase your culture that has never been showcased before in terms of being on screen, certainly in a big Hollywood movie like this. As we were putting together the story of Hobbs and Shaw and trying to figure out what that narrative was going to be, one of the ideas was, let's go back into Luke Hobbs' world and meet Hobbs' family. Not only are they all in Samoa, but Hobbs has all brothers. And so we looked around the table and thought, okay, well, who can be my brother? Like, who are the guys who can play my brother? And obviously the first name that popped up was Roman Reigns, and then we all got excited about the idea and called up Roman, and he said, no.
Such a bad liar.
He is a performer who acts as well as entertain. He does everything that he could possibly do in the WWE. And for us to take his skill set, which is an amazing physicality skill set, and apply it to these action scenes, it wasn't a hard pitch to anyone. There's so many fans who know now that he's in the movie with me. They bring up the fact that we were both ACC champs in college, both multi-time WWE champions. Now he's gotten a taste of my world here in Hollywood. And they all want to know, is this something you want to pursue? Do you want to continue? And if so, do I have any advice? That comes from the fans.
Yes, I absolutely do. You know, I want to get back to the ring, of course. Yep. But when the time comes, it's going to be a natural transition. And this is why I'm so grateful to be in this situation, is to be able to prepare myself.
When the time is right, then he's going to be phenomenal in Hollywood. He's got a hell of a career in Hollywood, a hell of a career. If he doesn't knock out any more cameramen. He's got a hell of a career.
3, 2, 1, go!
We had such a great time shooting an action sequence like this. Did you see me bite that guy's face? I I kind of look over at my mom, and I could see that, you know, she was misty-eyed, and, you know, she's doing this. Now, I know it's crazy, because you guys are thinking like, wait, your mom was crying because you bit some guy's face off in a scene, and it is crazy. But just so you guys have context, my grandfather was a very popular professional wrestler, widely considered the man who put Samoa on the map, and at one time largely considered one of the toughest men ever in pro wrestling. As the story goes, on a wrestling tour in Japan, my grandfather was having dinner one night with his wrestler friends after the show. Big men, my grandfather was about 300 pounds. They were drinking. My grandfather and this other wrestler have words, and they begin to fight in the restaurant. And as they spill out into the streets, not through the door, through the glass, it's just like a movie. This wrestler goes to double underarm hook my grandfather. And before my grandfather could get suplexed and dumped on his head, possibly break his neck and die in the middle of the streets of Tokyo, Japan, my grandfather does the only thing to do. And he bites this guy's face, and he winds up biting his eye out. So, when you see it in Hobbs and Shaw, you go, oh! That is an homage to DJ's grandfather. Can't you tell he loves it? He loves when I do this. He's like, get the off me.
Action Hobbs.
Today we're on the set of Hobbs and Shaw, and it's a very special day because we have the biggest star of the movie, Hobbs himself. Good boy. This is my real bulldog, Hobbs, named after my character, Hobbs. Hobbs is about 3 years old. I talked to Hobbs, I said, you want to be in the movie? He's like, yeah, I'll be in the movie. Just make sure you give me a whole bunch of buffalo, since he loves buffalo. That's why he's got all these muscles. He's a spoiled movie star.
Don't you embarrass me. This is my movie.
You know there's a lot of love for this guy when I come in on my day off to be the dog wrangler. But you know, what a day. Very, very proud of him.
Got a second career as an animal trainer.
Hobbs was a real pro. He was disciplined, unlike his owner. He was professional, unlike his owner. And he listened to the director, unlike his owner.
I've brought it today.
He's steadfast, he knows what he wants, but deep down inside, he's just an awesome dog with a big old heart. And at the end of the day, just like the character Hobbs, he's one badass son of a bitch.
Hobbs was so good, we're gonna do a close-up on him after this, if that's okay.
Oh, great, yes. I don't believe in nepotism, but I always believe in taking care of the family. Right, Hobbs? That's right, yeah, good boy.